Hey everybody, it's Jamaison. You might remember from a recent unboxing video these graduation caps that I bought from Henry at SS Glass Art. These water jets are awesome. All of his water jets are awesome. I wanted to show you now the project that I had intended to make with these. Now, the problem that I have with video is that you're probably going to lose all of the nuance that I'm about to talk about regarding color. So I ordered these as deep red because our local high schools colors are black and maroon. And so in my opinion, 224, Bullseye 224, which is deep red, once fired gets you, it's really not a striker, but it gets you as close to maroon as you can kind of get, in my opinion. And so I ordered 224 deep red. And when these arrived, I was kind of surprised because they're actually brighter than I thought. I have some old stock of 224. It's not labeled, so I don't know when it was created, and you're probably not going to be able to see much difference here. But, well, I think you can. So look how deep this 224 is versus the grad caps that I received from Henry. And I confirmed with Henry, and he bought, brand new, it's not curious glass, he bought brand new stock from Bullseye directly. This just goes to show how even the same manufacturer can have a lot of variation sometimes in their color. And there may be a different grader who was on staff and graded this as 224, even though it's maybe a little bit closer to 124. So anyway, it is what it is. I certainly don't blame Henry. He bought the glass direct from Bullseye, and but this was what I was hoping for, much closer. Red and maroon are two different colors. I can't necessarily try to convince people locally that red grad caps are appropriate. So I set off to do a little bit of experimenting to see if I could control the color. Even you notice how within, maybe you can't. I don't know if you can within the video, but like this piece is darker than some of the other pieces. So I wanted to do some experimenting, and so I used one of his that Henry sent to me. And I have some 224 deep red powder, and the date on this powder is 2012, so this is significantly older. And so what I did was I dusted this with powder, a fairly heavy layer of powder, and then I fired it in the kiln, and it did come out darker. So again, I don't know if you're going to be able to tell this within the video, but it did color correct it a little bit. Now it's still not as dark as what I had here, but it certainly helped. So I had not necessarily planned on this step, but what I wanted to do was fire these anyway as kind of a contour fuse, so that I would just clean up the edges. I'm not adding any glass, it's still just one layer of glass, but it just rounded off the edges nicely. My initial plan would have been to put these directly into the kiln and fire them as they are. Now I'm going to go ahead and dust them with some deep red powder to try to get them to be darker, and then move them to the kiln and fire them. And after they fire, I'll show you the next step of my planned project here. See what I did there? I was taking my mask off and I accidentally dragged the mask straps through. So I knocked the powder off of those and had to reapply because I want it to be a nice even layer as much as I can. So a couple of other comments. You may be asking, well, does the red strike? And it doesn't. It's not a striker. And I did pre-fire one of these without any powder just to see, and the color really didn't change. It came out still too red. And so that's why I moved to the powder as a solution, and the one that came out with the powder I was much happier with. So there's that. And then you might be asking about my little piece of metal here underneath here, this little grid. I just find it's easier to kind of pick these up after I've dusted powder. It's easier to pick them up off of something like this. I think this was a shelf from like a refrigerator or something, but I just keep it around. I use this thing all the time. Once I'm done moving these over to the kiln, I will get all of the powder off of there, and I've collected it then on this paper, and I can put all of that back in my jar and keep the overflow. So I'm going to move these over to the kiln. I'm going to fire them. I probably don't know how much, maybe 1375 for about 15 minutes or so. I'll always post my video schedules in the video notes here on YouTube, so make sure that you're looking for those. Just click on the headline for the video, and it should open up the notes, and I'll show you what these look like when they come out and what the next step is. All right, so I had some deep red. I made little squares and then full fused those so that I got a little bit of a dot here. And I just dropped that in there. My intention was to create little hanging graduation caps. And I bought these white tassels. Now, they had a variety of colors. I got them on Amazon, and they came with a 2024 charm. And these tassels are smaller than what you would normally find on a graduation cap, so they're not these super long. I still think, though, that the scale, let me move this up, is just a little long for what I'm trying to do here. I think that it's still a little off. You could talk to Henry. He can do custom, so if you want your grad cap to be bigger, you could. I didn't want it to be that big. So I'm gonna take an experiment here and see what I can do. I have these, just a little alligator clip, and I was trying to decide if I can basically get rid of some of this loop. So I'm gonna pinch it in this alligator clip about where I think I want it to be. So the plan is to glue with silicone this grad cap underneath this dot, and create then, and I'll put the charm on it first, but to then create, a hanging tassel that doesn't have, it's not quite so long, it's still long, but that's my plan, is to then now glue this dot on there with that tassel. And I think it would also be easier to do if this were a little bit more rigid. So I'm hoping we're doing this live on camera, not live, but right here on camera. I'm hoping that maybe I can use some heat. So I've just got a little candle here to maybe burn that rope a little bit and kind of scorch it so that it stays in place and kind of melts together. And then, clip the rest of this off. And that would make it rigid and easier to put underneath there. So this is an experiment. Let's give this a shot and see if it works. Just gonna go right into, well, it melts way fast, so that did not work as I had hoped. Well, I mean, I could just cut these, but I was really hoping to use heat to kind of, there, I was just too close to it. So I hovered it over the candle, and that kind of melted that together now, and gives me something that I can work with to then use silicone and glue that dot onto that. I think that'll work well. Cool. Okay, so now I'm going to go through the process of of doing that. I will add these tassels to my Amazon store if you're interested in finding them or a different color. I always appreciate you using my Amazon store. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but I do get a little commission off of your purchases, which helps keep all these videos on YouTube free. I don't have any memberships. I don't charge you for my content. And so that's one way that you can give back, and I always appreciate that. So if you're interested in finding my Amazon store, visit my link tree. Here's the link to my link tree. This is a single source for all of my favorites. Not only are you going to find my Amazon store, you'll find my decals that I sell, and you'll find many of the suppliers, just like Henry, listed on this page as well. So it's brand new. It is down here at the bottom of your video, and it'll also be in the video notes. But go to my link tree. From there, you can click to the Amazon store. Might be a good idea to actually just bookmark my link tree so that you can refer back to it often. But I'll put these in the store, and I'm going to go ahead and glue this up. All right, here it is all glued up and done. I had forgotten to put the charm on it before I glued it up, so I just put it on after. And so you can see that dangling there. And my wife had suggested that perhaps I should cut the tassel as well, so it was quite a bit longer here. I didn't do the cleanest job cutting it, so I need to do better on the future ones, but I do think that also helped with the scale here. So I'll take a few pictures and show you what it looks like, but I'm really happy with this. So if you're interested in the Waterjets, Henry has them on his Etsy store, and that is linked in my link tree. Here's a QR code where you can go grab that link within a whole bunch of other links, but Henry's is right in there. And then if you're interested in the tassels, I have those linked in my Amazon store, which is also on the link tree, and they're available in a variety of different colors or from other sellers as well. So hopefully you found this interesting. Oh, the glass bales, those are also available from me. Those are on the link tree as well. So thank you very much, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.